Hello students, so today we can continue with the chapter temporal and spatial data mining. So today we can look into the sequence mining in detail, how the sequence mining works. As you all know, in previous class we had discussed about the sequence analysis and all, how the event takes place and a transaction takes place and all, right? So today we can look into that in detail, okay? So here in sequence mining, it consists a sequence of ordered elements or a events with or without time. So sequence mining may have timings or may not have the timing data set. So sequential pattern mining is a mining of frequently occurring ordered events or a subsequent patterns. Okay. So for example, here you can see that S equals E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. So S is nothing but a sequence and E1, E2, E3 are the events, how the events are occurring. So here for example, you can consider customer buys a laptop, then pen drive, then mouse and then the keyboard. So it's a sequence. S equals product like laptop, pen drive, mouse and a keyboard, right? Next we have the example, that is ATM machine. So ATM machine, you all know how it works, right? When you enter into the particular ATM center, you should first insert the card, then after that it asks for the language, so you should must select your language, then you should enter the pin, then enter the withdrawal amount, then collect the cash, then remove the card. So it's some of the ordered, right? So if you want to collect the cash, you should follow these steps. It's some of an order, right? So it's the sequence mining example. So here you can see S equals, events are like insert card, enter pin, enter withdrawal amount, collect cash and remove the card. So it's the elements which is in order. Okay. So here let us consider one example. So here is one example. There are six items. There are six items. A sample of sequence data, that is we have customer 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here you can see customer 1. Okay, many times the customer 1 has purchased A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D, E, F are the six items. Okay. So customer 1 first purchase A, B and D, E, F. C he will not purchase. Okay. Next C2 he will purchase the C and D, F. So whenever the customer purchases the item, there the 1 will be placed. Okay. When he never purchased, there the value will be 0. Like that they have been organized. So here you can give any customer name and add the six items and give the values. Okay, so this output will be, so when you consider the customer one, I want to look into the table of customer one. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ customer one ಅವರದು ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೋಬೇಕು C1. So 2 times, 3 times, 4 times and 4 times we have C1 customer purchase the item. So like that we should put that values together. Customer 1 ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಐಟಮ್ ಒಂದು ಟೇಬಲಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ C1 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಸೊ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಬಿ ಡಿ ಇ ಎಫ್, ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ 1 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 1. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅವರು ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಎ ಬಿ ಡಿ ಇ ಎಫ್ ಅಂತ ಐಟಮ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಇ ಎಫ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 1 1 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಎಫ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಏನು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಬಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 1. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ C1 ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಿ ಡಿ ಇ ಎಫ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ output for the customer 1. So like that we will calculate the for customer 2, customer 3 and customer 4 by considering this table. So customer 2 ದೊಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಟೇಬಲಲ್ಲಿ, ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 3 ಇದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 4 ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅವರು ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 2 ಸಿ ಡಿ ಎಫ್, ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಎಫ್, ಬಿ ಇ, ಬಿ ಸಿ ಬಿ. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 2 ನೋಡಿ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಎಫ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 2 ಏನು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಫ್, ಮತ್ತು C2 ಬಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ C2 ಆ್ಯಸ್ B and C. Next C2 we have only B, right? ಸೊ ಅದರ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, CDF ABCDF BE BC ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ B. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 2 ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 3 ಮತ್ತು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ 4ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಒನ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ and add the 6 items and you should write this output. Okay, so here you can see that is a sigma equals items are ABCDF and the database depicts the purchase made by the 4 customers during a certain period of time. The transaction are ordered chronologically. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈ ಆರ್ಡರನ್ನು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಥರ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ದು ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ವಿ ರೈಟ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದೇರ್ ಬೈ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ items a transaction contains. Okay, so after that only we are finding out the customer 1, customer 2, customer 3 and the customer 4 database. So don't write this line. Okay, so this is the output for the particular sequence mining. Okay, so here some of the definition for the sequence minings. Okay, so sequence means a sequence is an ordered list of an elements. A sequence A is denoted as alpha 1 alpha 2 to alpha q, where alpha is an event. A sequence is called a k sequence if the sum of cardinality of alpha is k. Subsequences are the sequences S equals alpha 1 alpha 2 alpha q is said to be subsequences of S equals beta 1 beta 2 to beta r. If there exist indices T1 is less than T2 to TQ of S1 such that alpha 1 is subset of a beta T1, alpha is a subset of B2 to alpha Q2 subset is a beta of TQ. A sequence S is said to be the support another sequence as if S is a subsequences of a S. So for exam you need to study this definitions. Okay, sequence and subsequences, where it has the they had taken the values like alphas and betas. Okay, where in subsequences they have considered the here the subsequence will be beta, where the main item will be the alpha. Okay, so frequency means the frequency of a sequence S with respect to this data set database D is the total number of input sequences in D that support it. Means the how the data occurred frequently. So those sequences, the total number of frequent items has been displayed. So frequent sequence is a sequence whose frequency exceeds some user specified threshold. A frequent set is a maximal if it is not a subsequence of another frequent sequence. The rationale behind frequent sequence lies in detecting the precedence and causal relationship that make them the statistically remarkable. Next we have one of the important topic, that is GSP algorithm. How we can use this algorithm and solve the sequence mining related problems. Okay, so the GSP algorithm for solving the sequence mining problems are mostly based on the a priori algorithm. It's a priori algorithm we can look in unit 2. Okay, completely. So here a priori algorithm means a level wise algorithm. By using the a priori algorithm we can use to solve this sequence mining. Okay, one way to use the level wise paradigm is to first discover all the frequent items in a level wise fashion. So here by considering one data transaction will be so like this, we need not take to solve this problem we can use the GSP algorithm also by considering all the frequent data sets. Okay, first we will be considering the items, how many times the particular items have been displayed and all. Okay, so there will be a level wise paradigm, that is like first level, second level, K level, right? So that is a level wise paradigm. It simply means counting the occurrence of all single elements in the database. then the transaction are filtered by removing the non-frequent items. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವೊಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಅಕರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಆಫನ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು GSP ಆಲ್ಗರಿಥಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, so at the end of this step each transaction is modified transaction consisting of only the frequent element it contains. So ಇದರ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಓಕೆ, so there are two main steps in this algorithm, that is candidate generation and a support counting. So candidate generation, given the set of a frequent k minus 1, frequent sequence of f of k minus 1 is the candidate for the next pass are generated by joining the f of k minus 1 with itself. A pruning phase eliminates any sequence at least one of whose subsequence is not a frequency. So here first it consider the k minus 1 sequence, the first level of sequence, then it move on for the k2, k equals k plus 1. So those it moves on the particular sequence of items to find out the frequent elements. Okay, so by considering the subsequence of the item it will find out the candidate, it will produce the candidate keys, candidate generation. Okay, next we have support counting. Normally a hash tree based search is employed for efficient support counting. Finally non-maximal frequent sequences are removed. So here it helps, the hash tree algorithm will helps you to find how many times the elements or items have been occurred, and it helps in removing the non-frequent items. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸತಿ ಆ ಐಟಮ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಹ್ಯಾಶ್ ಟ್ರೀ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಆಲ್ಗರಿಥಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ಆಲ್ಗರಿಥಮ್ ನೋಡೋಣ, GSP ಆಲ್ಗರಿಥಮ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆಸ್ಡ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಗರಿಥಮ್. ಓಕೆ, GSP algorithm by with the introduction. Okay, so here f1 equals the set of frequent one sequence. First it will consider all the items in one set. Okay, next k equals 2, next the second level sequence, then it repeats the loop. Okay, do while f of k minus equals not equals, then generate the candidate set C, set of candidate k sequences for all input sequences S in the database D. Do increment the count of all A in CT if S supports A, then f of k equals A belongs to C of k such that its frequency exceeds the threshold, then k equals k plus 1, set of all frequent sequence in the union of fks and do. So after repeating the loop, so we will be considering the particular algorithm until the frequent items get displayed. So this algorithm will be used. So you don't have the program or a problems to work on this particular algorithm, so you should understand this GSP algorithm and write it. Okay, so here one example also there. The above algorithm look like an a priori algorithm. One main difference is however the generation of a candidate sets. Let's assume that A tends to B and A tends to C are two frequent sequences. So when we consider the large data set, it may have many frequent sets. Okay, so here it's a two sequences. The items involved in this sequence are A, B and AC respectively. So the candidate generation is a usual a priori style will give that ABC as a 3 item set, but in the present context we get the following 3 sequence as a result of joining the above 2 sequences. So how we can make join this particular sequence of items? Okay, so that is ABC, ACB and A tends to BC. So some order, right? After A only BC, CB can be given. Okay, so the candidate generation phase take this into the account. The GSP algorithm discovers the frequent sequences allowing for a time constraints such as maximum gap and a minimum gap among the sequence elements. Moreover, it supports the notation of a sliding window of a time interval within which items are observed as belonging to the same event, even if they originate from a different events. So in GSP algorithm, it considers the time data sets also. So it will look into the items, how frequently it has been occurred. Okay, so it's based on the a priori algorithm. Okay, so I need everyone to take down this in your notes. GSP algorithm is one of the important question asked in every year. Okay, thank you.